Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Daily Cannon Tactics Board. Stephen Bradley here, bringing you the tactical tweaks and quirks that come from Arsenal's satisfying and, well, I suppose, calming 1-0 win over Norwich. A relief might be the best word to describe it. A better performance, 30 shots, the most that's ever been in an Arsenal side managed by Mikel Arteta. A lot to work on, but a lot to talk about, a lot of promising performances, and maybe one positional change that in the long term we might see from Arsenal, even though it might not be what we intended, but it might just be the best for all concerned. If you do end up enjoying this video, please feel free to leave a like. If you would like these videos in your inbox on a regular basis, hit the little subscribe button. And if you just saw something in yesterday's game that you think we didn't pick up on today or you want to talk about, we have a growing community of engaged, very passionate, both Arsenal fans and just football fans as a whole, who like talking about tactics and like talking about the games as they go on. Leave a comment down below and just say what you think. The only thing we ask is that, it's pub rules. You don't say something that you wouldn't say to someone's face. Keep it respectful. Keep it, even if you want to be highly critical, far away. But if it's done with respect, no problems from us. And yeah, to the game. I wonder what Ainsley Maitland-Niles is thinking as he goes to bed around now. I'm recording this at like midnight on a Saturday evening. For those of you who don't know, I'm a radio producer by trade, and Sunday, which is today, if you're watching this as this video goes out, I'm live on air between 2 and 6 on Midlands103.com, the local radio station here in the Midlands in Ireland. And yeah, it's been a busy week for your boy, but it's also been a busy week for Arsenal because there's clearly been a couple of things that have been worked on, and obviously bringing in new players, their characteristics, their skill sets will impact the way Arsenal play, just out of a different player playing a different way. It's just the manner of the situation. But it was nice to see Arsenal try different things. It was nice to see Arsenal not resort to the same plan over and over again. And perhaps more importantly, once a couple of personnel changes were made, that plan improved, the game plan developed a lot, and Arsenal attacked even better than what they were doing in the first half, which was decent. And the best way I can describe it is by going to our good old fashioned heat maps, because our trusty heat maps, how much have we not missed these? But you see here, usually when Arsenal build up, a lot of it was always focused towards Kieran Tierney, and it would always go here. But as we've seen over the last couple of months, there's been a change in the way Arsenal have played, so that they go into this 3-2-5 formation, which is Tierney bombs all the way up here, the left winger tucks in, the centre attacking goes to the right, and then the right winger goes here, and then you've got your striker there. The left centre back scoots over, the right centre back scoots over, and the right back scoots over, and then your two midfielders. 3-2-5. And it's pretty much the stable for most teams now, frankly. Maybe apart from Liverpool, who go 3-3-4. But a lot of the times this is proved not to be that successful for Arsenal, just for two reasons. One, the players involved just aren't good enough to play quickly enough and with the right tempo and make the right movements for it to work. Whether if this player here is Xhaka or Elneny, they don't possess the requisite skill set to get those quick passes into the centre attacking midfielders quickly enough. And then, for whatever reason, the right winger, whoever it is, doesn't make this run in here off the ball enough for there to be a threat. They're good on the ball, but not off the ball. And today we saw a bit of a change because, like I said, if you look here, if I just click on Tierney by himself, he rarely gets the ball inside his own half. Like, it's all here. And he kind of has games like this, but today it was by design. Because, as you can see, Norwich lined up very Liverpool-esque, 4-3-3, very narrow, looking to close down the space, because they wanted it to be 3-on-3 here. They wanted to force Arsenal into making a mistake here, into getting, caught out with either Tierney and Pepe, pushed up, and then if a bad ball goes into Maitland-Niles or Sambi, Lees, Malou and McLean can push up and then suddenly it's 5-on-5, and you get the ball and you get a chance. Arsenal recognised this within 5 minutes and decided, you know what, we're not going to do this. Tomiyasu went back wide, White came in, and Gabriel went there. And Tierney still acted almost like a decoy going out here, but Arsenal built up more traditionally. Maitland-Niles pushed forward, we'll get Lees-Malou out of the way, and it was Sambi who actually came back as a proper DM, which meant Tomiyasu could go here a bit, because even if they got the ball, Sambi could come back and dictate play. And as a result, Maitland-Niles would come in here, because now the ball would go to Tomiyasu a lot, which meant Pepe got a lot of the ball, especially when Norwich were pushed back a bit. He'd get a lot of the ball here because McLean didn't want to leave Odegaard free in this little space here. And Rupp was trying to, basically stay on Saka because Lees-Malou was more of an attacking-minded midfielder and wasn't doing much tracking back. And Saka routinely would get the ball here, try to turn Rupp, and Rupp would just clatter him, basically. It was, rudimentary, but it was working. And so Pepe would get a lot of the ball here and be relied on to beat multiple people. And when Pepe can do this on occasion, he's deadly, as he showed with the goal he nearly scored. Hits the post, rebounds back to him, and it comes back and Aubameyang scores. But Pepe's inclination to beat his man repeatedly slowed Arsenal down. He would beat McLean comfortably, get past him, and then wait for McLean to run past him so he could beat him again and come inside. And as a result, because Tomiyasu was left-footed and bought primarily because he's left-footed, when he would make his attacking runs, he's not known for them, he would go inside. So when Norwich were defending and they'd come back, you'd have Pepe out here, Tomiyasu waiting here for the ball, Odegaard would sink in here, Saka would move across, Sambi would come up, Maitland-Niles would come up, Dowell and Solis would cover, and suddenly the ball's in here a lot. And there was no one making this run in here. Aubameyang was sitting on Omobamidele's shoulder, probably should have been on Hanley's shoulder, frankly, but they put the quicker, younger defender on Aubameyang. He did all right. And this was getting nowhere. Rupp was sitting here, McLean and Lees-Malou were just hanging around, and they were getting chances, but they were half chances. And most of Arsenal's joy came from when they were clearing the ball out almost, and Norwich were recovering and trying to push up to make sure that there was no space between the lines, and Gabriel and Ben White would just ping balls over the top, looking for Pepe to run in, or especially looking for Aubameyang to run in. White especially played two glorious balls over the top. Sambi was playing them around here, and you were getting to the stage where they were coming up with half chances, but nothing in particular. Like Norwich were, I won't say comfortable in the first half, but they were keeping Arsenal at arm's bay. Aubameyang was getting the odd chance here or there. Maitland-Niles was doing a bit of sweeping up, but nothing more. Saka was just being kicked out of the game. Odegaard was finding it hard to find space because Pepe was constantly cutting inside. And Tomiyasu isn't an attacking fullback, so he wasn't making this run, which meant that Solis could sit inside and Williams didn't have to worry about here, so he could sit in. It just got all a little bit congested. So the second half starts. And what does Arteta do? He leaves at 10 minutes, as you should, just to see if Arsenal can make anything. They get another one or two chances. Pepe is starting to beat Brandon Williams at will here now, but again, he just can't find that final ball. Passes are going into him, his touch is off. It's one of those Pepe games. And Arteta says, do you know what? Enough is enough. And here is the tactical switch where I think it's going to become predominantly more long-term. And for this, we have to thank the tactical genius, the man who revolutionised English football more than any man in history. That man being Harry Redknapp. I'm kidding, but Harry Redknapp did one thing. You can claim two if you want to say he made Gareth Bale play centre forward, but he tried to sell Gareth Bale to Birmingham City for $3 million because he couldn't play left back. So I'm not going to really give Harry Redknapp that much credit for playing one of the greatest British players ever to live at centre forward. And then, who goes to Real Madrid and scores two of the best cup final goals you'll ever see in your life. So that. But the more I see Martin Odegaard, and the more I see how willing he is to run and how willing he is to stick his foot in and how willing he is to get into the nitty gritty of midfield, especially centre midfield, the more I don't think his long-term position is here. I think his long-term position is here. We'll just move Maitland-Niles out of the way for a second. I think it's here. I think it's centre mid. I think he's the next Luka Modric. I really do. He might be a little bit more attack-minded than Luka Modric. He might not be as defensively minded and maybe defensively sound as Luka Modric. But Luka Modric came from Dinamo Zagreb to Tottenham as a number 10, as an out-and-out number 10. And over 2 years at Tottenham, played in a 4-4-2 because they had Van der Vaart as well. And he learned how to play as an 8, and good God, is he one of the best at it ever. And can Odegaard be that? I think he can, because when Arteta basically changed 2/3 of the midfield, he took off Sambi, who had, again, had a good game. If you consider Sambi Lokanga as a poor man's Thomas Partey, I don't think you're wrong. He's been decent, but he is exactly that. He is a poor man's Thomas Partey. And when the real thing came on, and Tomiyasu was replaced by Maitland-Niles at right back, and Tomiyasu himself was substituted for Smith Rowe, I can type, the game changed. Because suddenly, instead of everyone getting compressed in here, Smith Rowe had the foresight to get out of the way, which is maybe, even as good as a dribbler on the ball as he is, Smith Rowe's greatest asset might be his ability to go where the defender doesn't want him to go, which is here. Now he's making that run. Now Rupp has to follow him, which means now there's room for Saka inside. Because there's room for Saka inside, now Tierney can bomb on. Now Lees-Malou has a choice. Does he stick on Odegaard or Saka? Because Rupp still has to look after Aubameyang, because Aubameyang is making these runs here, here, and here, and Omo Bamidele can keep up with him. Grant Hanley can't. Rupp has to do some work here, but he's also being dragged out of position by Smith Rowe, another centre midfielder going here. Everyone's now getting dragged out of position, and Pepe now has all this space to himself because now Odegaard is here. And all of a sudden, passing lanes open up, and it's a completely different game because now Saka and Odegaard are almost here. And now Norwich's defence has to shift over. And you can't do that when Maitland-Niles does that. And yes, you are taking a risk, and yes, Norwich had the odd counter-attack or two. But Partey is a far better defensive midfielder than Maitland-Niles or Sambi Lokanga, and was playing in the spaces quite nicely, which is exactly what he did for Atletico Madrid. Just do this, just shuttle across. It's what separates him and Xhaka. He can do that, Xhaka can't. And now, suddenly Norwich have a problem. Because when Lees-Malou and tried to fit, and even if it's still 7-on-8, and now the Norwich defence has a problem. Because Saka is able to beat defenders at will. So is Tierney, so is Odegaard, so is Smith Rowe, so is Pepe, so is Maitland-Niles. If any of them beat one player, they're in trouble. And so when Maitland-Niles goes here, Williams has to track back. McLean now is on Pepe. You've now got almost a centre midfielder trying to guard a right winger. Doesn't work. McLean is there. Handy has to come across. Pepe gets in, beats McLean, has his shot. Who's marking Aubameyang trying to get in the far post for a tap-in? Omo Bamidele. Because Rupp can't, because Rupp's trying to mark Odegaard. Saka's been marked by Lees-Malou, and Tierney's got Aarons. And now it's a rookie, a really talented, promising rookie, versus one of the best strikers in the world. And it's little things like that separates good teams from really, really good teams. And that's why maybe, just maybe, Partey and Odegaard is the centre midfield future for Arsenal. And maybe, just maybe, we will see a lot more of Saka right wing and Martinelli left wing. Because Martinelli cutting in with his right foot would be a lot better than Saka running from there, in my personal opinion, if you're going to play attacking right backs and left backs. But it was just a better fit. And then, frankly, also, on the defensive end, the forwards did their job today. You know, we saw it. My biggest complaint about the City defeat was the fact that even at 2 and 3-0, Arsenal didn't try and press up. They didn't try and force Norwich into mistake. There's McLean. Yet today, every time Tim Krul had the ball, either Aubameyang or sometimes even Odegaard, when Aubameyang would go left and Saka would push up, Krul had a nightmare on the ball today. I lost count, frankly, of how many times Krul just punted the ball out because Arsenal pressed up high. And it's just these little passing patterns that Arsenal are starting to figure out and starting to know where to be just by muscle memory. It's little things like that that would help Partey and Gabriel and Ben White and Tomiyasu, if he's playing there, just help them push up a little bit, just knowing full well that this press is actually going to work. So a lot of things still to work on, a lot of chemistry issues to work out, again, with it being, you know, with Maitland-Niles now playing in centre mid for a couple of games maybe, with Tomiyasu playing at right back, with, you know, Odegaard now fully integrated into the side, now, you know, learning where to go, which players, because when you're on loan, it's something you just got to try and play your best. Now you're actually trying to form partnerships with players, relationships with players. It's going to be interesting to see over the next month or so just how this team melds, because this is what we've been asking Arteta to do for 18 months. We've been asking him to build a team. And now he's got the players he has. He's got the players he wants. Let's see what he can do with it. Today was a good start. Bring on Burnley. Again, if you like this video, leave a like. If you saw something that I didn't see today, leave a comment below. Someone, either myself or someone of our incredible community, frankly, will, you know, be more than happy to either challenge you or agree with you on what you think and start a discussion. And if you want these videos in your inbox on a regular basis, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell if you want to be notified. And yeah, like I said, bring on Burnley. Get used to this confidence thing, you know. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.